With almost all sports being postponed right now, stories that may have flown under the radar usually are now getting more attention because sports fans are starved for entertainment. For example, right now we're in May, we'd be knee-deep into the NBA playoffs with all other basketball stories going relatively unnoticed. But right now there's no basketball, so we're paying more attention to the off-the-court stuff so we don't blow our brains out. Right now, the news won't stop talking about high-profile recruits like Jalen Green and Isaiah Todd, who are getting more attention than normal for foregoing the traditional college NCAA route and going to the new and improved revamped G League. Both of these guys are 5-star recruits, but just yesterday, a high-profile 4-star recruit decided to go that route and made waves doing so. I'm of course talking about a 7'2" center out of the Philippines, the GOAT, the man by the name of Kai Sotto. It may look like a name that's hard to pronounce, but just looking at it, it looks exactly how it sounds. It's Kai Sotto. Just don't overthink it. Kai's move was significant and arguably more shocking than the two 5-star recruits because Green and Todd are Americans, and while Sotto is a product of the Philippines who did play in the USA last season, still as an international player he had many options, but ultimately landed on the G League, which means he thinks it's the best route for him with his huge lofty goal of being the only Filipino-born player to ever play in the NBA. That would of course be groundbreaking, but we'll get into the significance of that later. First, let's talk about his background a tiny bit and then a general scouting report on the lad. His father, Irving Sotto, had a lengthy career in the Philippine Basketball Association, or PBA for all the casuals out there, as a 6'7" center. Kai also said he loved Kristaps Porzingis, Tim Duncan, and Hakeem Olajuwon growing up, regularly watching their tape, and those are guys he probably modeled his game after. He did not mention being influenced by the play style of Earl Boykins or Muggsy Bogues at all. Kai excelled in high school, still living in the Philippines at the time. In 2018, he led his team to the UAAP Basketball Championship title in the junior division and was named the final's most valuable player. Whatever the hell that means, but I'm sure it's good. He averaged 17 points, 13 rebounds, and 6.3 blocks per game in 3 games. Thank you, Wikipedia. And in the following season, he averaged 25.1 points, 13.9 boards, and 2.6 blocks. At this time, he was a prodigy. He was definitely on everyone's radar. Then Mr. Sotto packed his bags and sailed to the US, off to join the Skill Factory in Atlanta, Georgia, a program to enhance his skills as a hooper. This is kind of commonplace nowadays, even among international players. We all remember Lithuanian player LaMelo Ball joining the Spire Institute in Ohio. And Kai clearly did enough during his time at the Skill Factory, as he was a consensus 4-star recruit. Rivals currently has him as the 70th recruit in the country for the class of 2020, while ESPN has him at 61 and 24/7 Sports has him at 51. But what makes him so good? What did he do to turn heads in the US? His strengths are definitely his height, you would certainly hope so, and he uses it to his advantage. He can score in the post with either hand. He can handle the ball pretty impressively for a big man, but I don't expect him to bring up the ball anytime soon. You know, maybe he'll get drafted by the Knicks and they'll put him at point guard. That's a possibility, but outside of that, he's not bringing up the ball. He's got relatively good court vision. Passing is definitely one of his strengths, and he's actually got a pretty good jumper. He can shoot the 3 pretty well for a big man. His footwork is pretty advanced, which combined with his ball skills, again good for a big man, can make him challenging to defend. He's a good rim protector. I mean, you would fucking hope so. He's 7'2". And in a game of basketball that is getting smaller and smaller, he has to be a historically unconventional big man, so all these skills definitely help him exceed at the next level, or you would hope so. Now to his weaknesses. Well, the obvious one that I'm sure you've all heard about is his strength. He has put on a little bit of muscle recently, but he's still a long way to go in order to become a beefcake. He's still pretty skinny, and the consensus right now seems to be if he were put in the NBA right now at his size and strength, he'd be abused time and time again like if you threw him to the wolves. The good news is that he's only 17 years old. He's turning 18 in the summer and will now be working with elite G League trainers at elite facilities to take it to the next level. This is his full-time job now. And also, while it is fair to kind of criticize his strength right now, keep in mind he's only 17. In the eyes of the US legal system, he is still a child. It would be beyond foolish to write him off now at 17 years old just because of his strength. I mean, did you look NBA ready at 17 years old? I didn't, and I still don't. Also, the NBA moving to a smaller and smaller game might hurt him. Sure, he is athletic enough for a big man, but is he athletic enough at this size for the NBA? You can only be so fast at that size, and while his height can play to his advantage in some aspects, it can hurt him in some others. It's obviously something he can't change, that's just biology and genetics, but the question will ultimately be, can the advantages of his size outweigh the disadvantages enough so that he can thrive on the NBA stage? His play at the U19 and U17 FIBA World Cup was phenomenal, but according to an ESPN insider, his play at the Basketballs Without Border camp this past winter was subpar. Ultimately, he has the intangibles to be an NBA star. He's got skills, but he is still very much a project. We'll know within the next year whether or not he can cut it to the NBA. Playing in the G League will be the biggest test of his basketball career so far, and it's not really close. And it will all come down to how his game evolves at the next level and how much stronger he gets at that level. That will dictate how successful he is in the G League and whether or not he'll get drafted. Kai obviously has big dreams, stating his goal is to become the first ever Philippines-born player in the NBA. Fun fact, Jordan Clarkson is actually half Filipino but was born in the US. Anyway, these are pretty lofty goals, and his prospect rankings right now at best make him a late second rounder. While it's unclear how long he will stay in the G League, I think if all else fails, an NBA team will be willing to take a shot at him, if only for the outpouring of support he has and will continue to receive from his home country of the Philippines. And think about it like this, every now and again a superstar athlete comes along to a sport from a place that is largely unrepresented in that sport on the global stage, but still has an intense passion for it. And these athletes become literal gods as they rise to the occasion and perform on the global scale, and in doing so inspire millions of kids back home. Think about these recent athletes, guys like Mo Salah in Egypt, McGregor in Ireland, Khabib Nurmagomedov in Dagestan, Kyle Kuzma in the island of misfit toys, Undertaker and Death Valley, and Didier Drogba in the Ivory Coast. I know they had the Touré brothers, but still, Didier Drogba, he literally stopped the fucking civil war for a bit. And of course, Yao Ming in China, and Jeremy Lin, although an American, captivated really all of Asia and really the whole world during the Linsanity era. What a beautiful time that was. And you had several stories come out in regards to Kobe Bryant's tragic death that really surprised me of how much of a global reach he had on people. It came out how much he was loved by the entire country of the Philippines and how deeply affected a lot of them were from his death. They are gigantic Kobe Bryant fans, and if you've ever seen that beautiful giant mural in honor of Kobe and his daughter Gianna, that sprung up after his death, and if you're wondering where that was made, it was made in the Philippines. Now, Kobe has some ties to the country. He visited around 7 times during his career, and if they show that kind of support for Kobe, who of course is one of the greatest ever, but he's ultimately a foreigner, imagine what they do for the boys back home. Imagine what they would do if Kai Sotto became a superstar. Kai Sotto has even said himself that basketball is like a religion in the Philippines, so if this were to work out, he'd be bigger than the Beatles in the 60s or O.J. Simpson in the 90s. This guy is putting the entire country's hopes and dreams on his back, and let's see how he does. It's a lot of pressure. I compared him to a lot of really great athletes. To get to that level would be tremendous. And I don't know if there's G League All-Star voting. Frankly, I didn't look it up because I don't care to. But if there is, they need to back up their servers because Philippines will come out in droves and vote for Kai Sotto, as they will do at the NBA level if he gets there. They have positive support for this man that we can't even imagine. And he's not even a man. I mean, he's 17. He's still a young child. They have support for this young child that we can't even imagine. And if he grows to be a superstar, it's going to be incredible. According to the magazine Forbes, which you can check out the link and article in the description, basketball is the most popular participation sport in the country of the Philippines. The NBA is the most popular spectator sport with a 98% awareness rate, and their 7.9 million Facebook page followers represents the most of any country outside of the USA. I'm really not at all exaggerating the significance of Kai playing well at the next level and what it would mean to the Philippines. It would be God tier. It is not far-fetched at all that if Kai works out at the next level in the NBA, he will be a global superstar and very much a household name. I mean, you'll have moms talking about him like they did during the Linsanity era. Everybody knew who Jeremy Lin was. They have the potential to know who Kai Sotto is. It's a long way off, but it's very possible. And you have to believe that every single team that has Kai on their radar is also considering his marketability and all the eyes he'll have on him. The NBA and their teams are businesses after all, and Kai would be a tremendous business asset. Now let's not get too ahead of ourselves. I know I just gassed him up and talked about the best possible scenario for the last 5 minutes, but let's be realistic here. He still has a lot of things to work on until he gets to that level. He still has a long way to go and things he needs to improve on. But another aspect of his fame will also be his height. It seems like the more tall you are, the more of a crazed fan base you have. I mean, we all can remember Taco Fall this past year, getting in with 5 seconds in the game in garbage time, and fans going nuts, moms going nuts, babies going nuts. Everybody loves Taco Fall, and they have the potential to love Kai Sotto too. Alright folks, that is it. A lot to be excited for in regards to Kai Sotto's future. I, along with millions in the Philippines and millions worldwide, will be watching him pretty closely in the G League as he teams up with Jalen Green and other players. Did you know Jalen Green dunked on him not once but twice? Here's the clip. That's the video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. It's corny, but it does help out the channel. And then check out our website, a lot of great articles, basketball articles. So check that in the description. And Paradise play us off 1 video a week, so check us out next week.
What we gonna do? Every day, I'm with you. Cannot find no one greater than my baby.